All right, I'm going to rant here today for a few minutes about something I care a great deal about. That's the jam session. Okay, I've been running a jam session for a couple of years here in La Mesa. You're welcome to attend, by the way, if you're ever in town. So today I want to talk about jam manners. What would be a better word than etiquette? Jam etiquette. There you go. Hey, my name is Dave. I teach people how to play the saxophone. Welcome aboard. Let's get right into it, okay? Jam manners. It's something you got to do. It's the next step. Once you're ready to play out in public, you got to do it. And the jam session is the time honored way to go from El Succo to El Grado, right? You just, everybody starts out and, struggles, and you keep coming back and you get better and you get better and you get better. And that's what the beauty of a jam session is for. That's the whole idea, is that you've got a forum with some musicians and and an audience, such as it may be, to work out. And you'd be amazed how much an audience contributes to your playing. I don't know if there's science involved here, but I always find that when there's an audience, their energy, their attention, they're just the very presence of people listening to you struggle with your music tends to bring you up a little bit, right? It just I don't know if it's stage fright, nerves, adrenaline, what. I have, like I said, I've got no science, but that's what happens. The environments have changed over the years. I'm basically an old guy now, and where we used to jam, most of the places don't exist anymore. This music was learned in the dark environs of bars, basically. Nightclubs and bars was where all the pop music was played back in the day. A line has been drawn now. You don't go to those places anymore to learn this music because they don't exist. I mean, COVID, put a lot of them under that were all ready to go under, but that's kind of what happened. Now we're on YouTube, and YouTube, by comparison, is an antiseptic workplace. And it's kind of beautiful because you can play along with anybody that you want, anybody that you can find on YouTube. You can plug them into your amplifier, you can play along with them, and you can do this at any time, at any place, basically, your convenience, right? We would go to these dens of iniquity, and especially when we were, teenagers. I didn't find jazz. Jazz didn't find me till I was, I don't know, 16, 15, 16. And I'm not sure I was driving a car then. I'm thinking more like we got rides to the places in town, and there were lots of them, where you could go hear live jazz. And we would stand outside because we couldn't go in, and we would listen, right? We would listen to that music and try to figure out what the heck, how did that happen? What are they doing? Just the sound of the instruments and the interplay of the musicians as they communicated with each other and making a song. That's all gone now. That doesn't exist. There really aren't very many clubs left, very few. And in time, as we got a little bit older, we got to step up and step inside and join. And I'll tell you, this is an act of real humility when you're stepping up and playing with your elders, and you're trying to make, you're trying to impress them, right? I mean, you're trying to make some good music in a situation that is fairly high voltage. Again, that doesn't exist. That's one thing that went away as culture has changed. Dens of iniquity. All right. So now here we are on YouTube, but there still are jam sessions around. They might be on a Sunday afternoon. They might be on Saturdays. Mine's on a Wednesday night. It's in a coffee shop. All right. Not a den of iniquity. Not that I have anything against a good old smelly bar. I basically grew up in them, but there are rules, and I would love for you to know what they are. First of all, don't walk in unannounced, brand new to the venue, new to the jam, and walk up to the stage, plug your amp in, and set your guitar up. Ain't happening. All right? When you're new to the jam, and I mean brand new, you haven't played yet. You just heard about it. You say, "Oh wow, I got to go check that out." That's exactly what you do. First couple of times, you sit your butt down in a chair and you listen. All right? You look for who's in charge, who's running the jam. Does she keep like a sign-in sheet, or does he have a great memory and just call names out of people that he knows who are at the jam? How many songs does a person get before they have to sit back down again? Is there a house band, and do they stay up during the jammers set? Do they open and then just stay up? Or is there an entire band change? When the opening act is done, do they all go away and then new people all come up? These are key things that you need to know. While you're listening, track the songs, okay? It's super important that you know what material is being played at this jam, what kinds of songs, especially if you're new to this environment and you haven't been to a jam and you're not really sure what you're going to bring to the jam. I'll tell you what to not bring: your music stand and your real book. Ain't happening. So that's why I want you to get yourself familiar with the songs that the band plays. And there'll be many of the same songs over and over, week after week. You get to know what those are. Make yourself a list and learn them. Learn, okay, the whole list, Dave? No. How about 3 or 4? How about 2 or 3? 2 or 3. Very good. So, memorize them so you can play them from memory. You can stand up in front of this band and play these songs from memory. That might take a minute, but it's a minute well invested, okay? All right. Before we get to the place where you're playing your memorized music, you have written down a list, you understand the kinds of songs, you understand how things move, how the band changes, how the organization is put together. Let's take a moment and just respect whoever is running that jam. That person is responsible for everything, and I mean everything. They likely have a financial relationship with the owner of the venue. All right. They may not be paying to use the venue, but they're likely not getting paid to use the venue. It's quite often it's a booties and seats kind of thing. Bring people in. Yes, our jam will bring a lot of people in who buy beer and pizza, that sort of thing. So the house makes money off of the attendees or the musicians who come and eat and drink. And the musicians will generally maybe share a tip jar. Now, it may just be that the backing band, the house band, gets the split of the tip jar. This is all stuff that you want to watch out for and that you want to know. You want a lot of information before you get up there and you start to play. Now, let's get back to your songs. You've got a couple of them memorized, right? The last thing, like I said, the first last thing is to show up with a music stand and a real book. No. The second is to just walk up there and not be prepared with anything at all. That's not cool. You've got a couple of songs, at least a couple of songs, and I want you to know the concert pitch, not your transposed pitch for your E flat or your B flat instrument. You want to know the concert pitch, what they have to play, the bass, guitar, keys. What key are they going to be in so that you can be in your key? And you tell them that. And that's how this is going to work best. You do your 2 songs, and then you sit back down again. That's it, all right? If you're invited to stay for a third, thank God you memorized 3 songs, eh? But you show up prepared. You've prepared in advance. You've got songs that you know the concert key that they're in, and you generally will get to call the tempo. You get to tell the band, start the band, decide the order of solos, that sort of thing. If you're not comfortable doing that, this is how you will introduce yourself when you talk to the person who organizes the jam. Yeah, I'd love to play with you, but I'm brand new and I don't know how to do any of that. I'm going to learn a couple of songs and I'll be back in a month or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever. Make yourself a presence at that jam. Support that jam, all right? Show up, hang out, become a familiar face there, all right? I want to talk a little bit about the difference between blues jams and jazz jams. Fundamentally, on the surface, they seem like they would come out of the same playbook, and they both work the same way. Opportunity for people to get up and start playing in public, start working it out, right? Whether it's a blues joint or it's a jazz joint. There are some big differences, though, once you get into the environment. Same thing is going to happen at a jazz jam. Although, as a sax player, I've learned over the last dozen or so years that nobody who goes to a blues jam knows any saxophone blues songs. And there are bunches of them. There are loads of saxophone blues songs. Think about Louis Jordan. Think about Big J McNeely. Think about, oh man, just old blues sax-driven hits that nobody knows. Primarily what you find at a blues jam, it may be run by an exceptional vocalist and a harmonica player. And in that case, you're dealing with a lot of Little Walter. There's a name. It could be run by a guitar player. Quite often they're run by guitar players. And that's where the spirit of Stevie Ray Vaughan is invoked a lot. And the stage volume. Now, this can be very disorienting, all right? Jazz, kinder, gentler. Blues, generally very loud stage volume. If you're new to it, if you haven't spent a lot of time around loud instruments, you want to get some ear protection. I'm not talking about those big red shooters muffs, but some ear filters. They're cheap. Go to Guitar Center or online, Amazon. Get yourself something, practice with that. And in lieu of knowing songs, which again, they're not going to know, learn the keys. If you've got a guitar driving the band, if a guitar's driving your blues jam, guitarists and male vocalists love the key of A, concert A, and concert E. Concert A is going to be, what's that going to be for us? Concert F sharp. Excuse me. Concert A for an alto sax will put us in F sharp, and concert E is going to put us in C sharp. All right. You tenor sax players can figure that out. You're only a step above concert pitch. So anyway, that's what you got. And those are rambunctious, not pleasant keys. Learn the 1-4-5 system instead of the 2-5-1 system. Blues 1-4. Learn some of the rhythms. Practice blues at home in those keys, because chances are really, really good you're going to have to do those on a stage in front of an audience. All right. So anyway, if you have any questions that I can answer, I've been going to jams for years and years and years. I still go to jams. I'll still stop in at jams. Quite often there's something I'd like to work out, or I just want to play with different people other than the same people that I know. I'll go to a jam, and there's some real, real good ones here in town, and I'm sure there are some good ones where you live, unless you're in the middle of the Amazon rainforest or Antarctica or something like that. There's probably some real good jams happening, and they may even be private. For years, we had private jams here at my house, and I'm probably going to start those back up again, too. But there is an audience factor, and again, I'm not going to deny, I love the audience factor. I hope you get a chance to find out exactly what an audience brings out of you as a musician. Okay, so questions, I'll put my email contact in the description below. And I certainly hope that that this helps you to understand that when you go to the jam, you're a guest in the house, all right? You're a guest in the house, and that you're welcome there because of people like you. It's how jams work, okay? I mean, if there weren't musicians, there wouldn't be jams. Don't take over. Don't commandeer the jam. Oh, good Lord, I've seen that happen before. People just don't sit down. They stay up the whole time. And it gets weird. Do your 2 songs and sit down unless you're invited to do a 3rd song. Or maybe later in the evening, a vocalist will say, oh, I want that sax player to come back up again. And, in that case, all bets are off. So have a good time. Enjoy. Don't worry about the part where you're not really playing your best yet. You will. I promise. It's how it's done. This is how it's done. All right? All right. Keep in touch. Play your horns. Have fun. Do good work. Be kind to each other. I'll see you again.